On July 4th, 1954, the quiet suburban community of Bay Village, Ohio, was shattered by a gruesome crime that would captivate the nation for years to come. Marilyn Sheppard, a beloved wife and mother, was found brutally murdered in her own home. The tragedy struck a deep chord, not just within the tight-knit community, but across America. Marilyn Sheppard was the wife of Dr. Sam Sheppard, a well-respected neurosurgeon. Together, they were seen as the epitome of the American dream, living in the picturesque town of Bay Village with their young son, Chip. But the illusion of their perfect life was shattered in an instant on that fateful summer day. As news of the murder spread, the media descended upon Bay Village, turning the quiet town into a frenzied circus. Headlines screamed of murder, mystery, and scandal, and the nation watched with bated breath as the story unfolded. The Sheppard case quickly became a national sensation, fueled by sensationalist reporting and public intrigue. In the 1950s, America was a nation in transition, grappling with the aftermath of World War II and the dawn of the Cold War. The Sheppard case struck a nerve, reflecting the anxieties and uncertainties of the time. As the investigation began, the community's shock turned to suspicion, and the media's role in shaping public opinion became ever more apparent. As the sun rose on July 4th, 1954, the Sheppard home on Lake Road became a scene of unimaginable horror. Marilyn Sheppard's lifeless body was discovered in the couple's bedroom, lying in a pool of blood. Her injuries were shocking: multiple blunt force trauma wounds to her head and face, suggesting a violent and frenzied attack. The room was in disarray, with signs of a struggle evident everywhere. Blood spatter patterns painted a gruesome picture of the final moments of Marilyn's life. Dr. Sam Sheppard, the lone witness to the crime, recounted a chilling tale. He claimed he had been asleep on the downstairs couch when he was awakened by his wife's screams. Rushing upstairs, he encountered an intruder, a bushy-haired man. According to Sam, a violent struggle ensued. He described being knocked unconscious twice, once in the bedroom and again on the beach outside their home. His injuries, including a chipped tooth and bruises, seemed to support his story, yet they were not severe enough to suggest a prolonged fight. The police investigation began almost immediately, with officers arriving at the scene and combing through the house for evidence. However, the initial assessment of the crime scene raised more questions than answers. There was a noticeable lack of forensic evidence pointing to an outside intruder. No fingerprints, no foreign hairs, and no signs of forced entry were found. The only clue was Sam's account of the bushy-haired intruder, which many found hard to believe. From the outset, the police's focus turned sharply towards Sam Sheppard. Despite his respected status as a local doctor, his story seemed implausible to many. Public pressure mounted quickly, fueled by sensationalist media coverage and a community desperate for justice. The investigators, under intense scrutiny, appeared to rush to judgment, honing in on Sam as the prime suspect. Theories of marital discord and possible motives began to circulate, further entangling an already complex narrative. As the investigation into Marilyn Sheppard's murder continued, the case took a dramatic turn with the arrest of Dr. Sam Sheppard. What followed was one of the most sensationalized courtroom battles in American history, often referred to as the trial of the century. The prosecution built a formidable case against Sam Sheppard. They highlighted his extramarital affair with Susan Hayes, painting a picture of a man driven by lust and deceit. This affair, they argued, provided a clear motive for murder. Sam wanted to rid himself of his wife to be with his lover. The prosecution also presented physical evidence from the crime scene, though it was largely circumstantial. They emphasized the lack of evidence supporting the presence of an intruder and questioned the credibility of Sam's account of the events. The defense, on the other hand, worked tirelessly to discredit the prosecution's case. They pointed out significant flaws in the police investigation, including the contamination of the crime scene and the failure to properly secure evidence. The defense also introduced alternative suspects, suggesting that the real killer could still be at large. They argued that Sam's injuries were consistent with his story of a struggle with an intruder and not self-inflicted, as the prosecution implied. A critical aspect of the trial was the role of the media. The case captivated the nation, with newspapers and radio stations providing extensive, often sensationalized coverage. This media frenzy turned the trial into a public spectacle, influencing public opinion and, many argued, the jury's perception. Reporters swarmed the courthouse, and headlines screamed accusations, leaving little room for an unbiased view of the proceedings. Despite the defense's efforts, the jury found Sam Sheppard guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, a verdict that many believed was influenced more by the court of public opinion than by the evidence presented in court. The trial left a lasting impact on the American legal system, highlighting the dangers of media interference and the importance of a fair trial. As Sam Sheppard languished in prison, his fight for freedom had only just begun. The conviction left him devastated, but he never wavered in his claim of innocence. While behind bars, Sam and his supporters continued to search for new evidence and legal avenues to overturn the verdict. Enter FLeeBailey, a renowned defense attorney known for his tenacity and courtroom prowess. Bailey took on Sam's case, determined to expose the flaws in the original trial. His strategy centered on two critical points: judicial bias and the unparalleled influence of the media. Bailey argued that the trial judge, Edward Blythen, had shown clear bias against Sam, and that the media coverage had turned the trial into a circus, making a fair trial impossible. The defense team meticulously gathered evidence, including previously overlooked details from the crime scene and testimonies from new witnesses. In 1966, the U.S. Supreme Court made a groundbreaking decision. They ruled that Sam Sheppard had been denied a fair trial due to the overwhelming media interference and the prejudicial conduct of the judge. This landmark ruling emphasized the importance of an impartial judiciary and the right to a fair trial, setting a precedent for future cases. The ruling led to a retrial, where Bailey and his team presented their case with a fresh perspective. This time, the courtroom was devoid of the media frenzy that had plagued the original trial. The defense highlighted the numerous inconsistencies and gaps in the prosecution's case, casting reasonable doubt on Sam's guilt. Finally, in 1966, after 12 years of imprisonment, Sam Sheppard was acquitted of all charges. His release marked a significant victory for justice, but the question remained: if Sam didn't kill Marilyn, who did? The mystery continued to haunt those involved and captivated the nation. After Sam Sheppard's acquittal, the question of who murdered Marilyn Sheppard remained a haunting enigma. Various alternative theories began to surface, each adding a new layer of complexity to the case. Let's revisit these theories and the evidence that has come to light over the years. First, we return to Sam Sheppard's original account. He always maintained that an intruder was responsible for Marilyn's murder. According to Sheppard, he was asleep on the couch when he heard his wife's screams. Rushing upstairs, he encountered a bushy-haired man, leading to a violent struggle that left him unconscious. As the years passed, one name repeatedly emerged in connection with the case: Richard Eberling. Eberling was a handyman who had worked in the Sheppard home and had a history of criminal behavior. His relationship with the Sheppard family and his criminal past made him a person of interest. DNA testing and other forensic advancements have provided new insights. Modern science has revealed that some of the blood evidence found at the crime scene did not match Sam Sheppard. This crucial piece of evidence pointed away from Sam and raised new questions about the real killer. The case against Richard Eberling grew stronger with circumstantial evidence. Eberling had been convicted of other crimes, including burglary and theft. Some investigators believe he may have been the real killer, but opportunities to investigate him thoroughly were missed. Eberling's suspicious behavior and statements over the years only deepened the mystery. However, Eberling was not the only suspect. Other theories suggested the involvement of different individuals. each with their own motives and opportunities. The list of potential suspects grew, but none were definitively proven to be the murderer. The mystery of Marilyn Sheppard's death remains unsolved to this day. The search for the truth continues to captivate and confound, leaving us with more questions than answers. As we delve deeper into this case, we are reminded of the complexities and uncertainties that surround it. The Sheppard case not only captivated the nation, but also left an indelible mark on the American justice system. The intense media scrutiny and public frenzy surrounding the trial highlighted serious flaws in the way justice was administered, leading to significant reforms. One of the most profound impacts of the Sheppard case was its influence on legal precedents, especially concerning high-profile trials. The Supreme Court's decision in Sheppard v. Maxwell in 1966 emphasized the need for a fair trial, free from the prejudicial effects of media coverage. This landmark ruling underscored the importance of the presumption of innocence and set the stage for future legal standards to protect the rights of the accused. The Sheppard case also brought about changes in media and courtroom relations. The overwhelming media presence during the trial led to the development of gag orders and other restrictions to ensure that future trials would be fair and impartial. These measures aim to balance the public's right to know with the accused's right to a fair trial, reshaping how the media interacts with the judicial process. Beyond the courtroom, the Sheppard case left a lasting legacy in popular culture. It inspired numerous TV shows, films, and novels, most notably the iconic series, The Fugitive, which followed a man wrongfully accused of his wife's murder. This cultural impact kept the case in the public eye, ensuring that the debate surrounding Sam Sheppard's guilt or innocence continued for decades. The ongoing debate about Sheppard's innocence versus guilt remains a topic of fascination. Despite his acquittal, the question of who really killed Marilyn Sheppard lingers, prompting ongoing investigations and discussions. This unresolved mystery serves as a reminder of the complexities and imperfections inherent in the pursuit of justice. As we reflect on the legacy of the Sheppard case, we see how it has shaped our legal system, influenced media practices, and permeated popular culture. The search for truth and justice in Marilyn Sheppard's murder continues to captivate the imagination, ensuring that her story will never be forgotten. The murder of Marilyn Sheppard remains one of the most perplexing and controversial cases in American history. Despite Dr. Sam Sheppard's eventual acquittal and the years of investigation that followed, the true identity of Marilyn's killer has never been conclusively determined. The case has left a trail of unanswered questions and unresolved theories. Was it a random intruder, a jealous lover, or perhaps someone else entirely? Each new piece of evidence has only deepened the mystery, rather than providing clarity. The Sheppard case stands as a powerful example of the intricate dance between the justice system, the media, and public opinion. It highlights how these forces can both reveal and obscure the truth, leaving us to wonder if we will ever truly know what happened on that fateful night. As we reflect on the lasting impact of this case, we are reminded of the profound changes it spurred within the legal system, the media's role in high-profile trials, and the ongoing quest for justice. The murder of Marilyn Sheppard continues to captivate the public's imagination, serving as a stark reminder of the complexities and imperfections inherent in our pursuit of truth. The question remains, who really killed Marilyn Sheppard? Until that question is answered, the mystery continues to haunt us, ensuring that Marilyn's story is never forgotten.